24 hours, nothing but net, and Coach Dave Doeren, the football coach at NC State, and one of my dear friends. I am so grateful for your time, Dave. Thank you for being with us on this live stream once again this year.
No, thanks for having me.
It's a highlight for us, right? Because we're all Wolfpack people here, and we're excited about the season. Let's talk a little bit about spring football, because I know you've had a heck of a spring, and everybody has high anticipation for your season this year. What do you got?
Yeah, it was a great spring. 32 new players, so a lot of moving parts, just rebuilding the chemistry of the roster and obviously the ins and outs of the scheme with the new guys and figuring out what they can do and how we can use all the things they bring to the table, particularly offensively. We added, some weapons at the running back position, Jordan Waters and Dalen Smothers, two transfers, and then receivers, Noah Rogers and Wesley Grimes, quarterback Grayson McCall. So we've added some, weapons, I guess you would say. Justin Jolie, a tight end. So it was fun to see him. If you saw the spring game, there's a lot of firepower out there on offense and some guys doing some good things. And then defensively, just losing Peyton and moving some guys around different spots, trying to, figure out where the production is going to come from and seeing the development of some younger players. It was a really good spring. We were blessed with good weather instead of having to play in the rain like we did a year ago every day. It seemed like we had some really nice days in the stadium to actually get out there and test the guys and see how they'd handle it.
So my takeaways are more weapons around Concepcion. You don't have to just target him every time, right? Everybody knows that you got so much more balance on offense. And then that is the big question mark, replacing Peyton.
Yeah.
I even used Peyton's name in my commencement speech in December because I don't play any defense, and certainly not like that. I'm all offense. So that's the side of the ball I'm watching.
Yeah. Well, you don't replace a guy like Peyton, right? There's going to be a lot of people involved and just like the year before, we lost Drake Thomas and Isaiah Moore, two really good players, and Peyton elevated his game. And so you expect the same from the guys around him, to pick up. If you're coming back from the previous season, we expect to see a better player through a year of development and experience. And so, you see that with the different guys. Sean Brown's a linebacker now for us that was a safety that's really athletic and had a great spring for us. Caden Fordham's a young linebacker that has really evolved and gotten better. And then the secondary for us has, really been fun to watch, particularly at corner. Getting Aiden White back for another year. He hasn't given up a touchdown in 2 years, knock on wood, and brought in another corner from Maryland, Corey Coley, and then Brandon Cisse played a lot for us as a freshman. So, you're going to have to see production from other spots, and that's not just the guy that's replacing him, but the guys around him elevating their game.
One of the things that I have enjoyed so much about our friendship is that you have given me, and just me, like, access to incredible stuff around your program. I've been able to go to practice. I've been able to sit in the back of the film room. I've been able to be in the meeting room when you're addressing your whole team. And to me, that stuff is it's just phenomenal behind the scenes, because football has so many moving parts. And in order to organize and to be the CEO of all of that takes so much leadership and communication and organization. And it's amazing to see that many people on the same page trying to push towards the same goal. And you do such a great job of collectively putting them all in that space. How do you do all that, Dave? You've been doing it for so long. I know it's probably secondhand, but it just seems like it just requires a lot.
Well, it is a lot. I think having you there is great. First of all, we enjoy having guests, particularly passionate guests about the university and the program. But someone who's been an athlete at the highest level like yourself, that's seen a lot of coaching, can appreciate the things behind the scenes more maybe than somebody that doesn't understand all the things that are going on. And 125 players and 70 some staff members, there's a lot of moving parts. And it is, I think football is the greatest laboratory of life. You've got guys from all walks of life, different upbringings and beliefs and training levels coming in, and just getting them all synchronized. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of people too. You have to have a great training staff and strength and conditioning staff and nutritionist and operation staff. Everybody's saying the same things and understanding the vision ultimately starts with me being able to communicate what I want from everybody and getting them all to do it for the right reasons. And so, yeah, I've done it a long time, but as you know, college athletics is ever changing right now more than ever. And so a new level of challenge, I guess you would say, in the present environment of college sports. So still learning and growing as I go. And I think maybe one of my greatest strengths is that I know I don't have it figured out yet. You know, you just got to keep trying to get better.
Well, I'm grateful for every time I get to go up in the tower and watch practice or sit in a meeting and listen to the offense and defensive coordinators. Like, to me, it's fascinating conversation just because there's so much. And from the last meeting that I sat in, the one thing that I learned that I carried forward and I thought about that I changed the vernacular from football to basketball was just, you were talking about eye discipline on defense and having the right eye discipline. And I started thinking about how that would transfer to basketball. So it wasn't just me sitting there just hanging out. I mean, I was paying attention. I was trying to learn something with my pad of paper back there, writing, taking notes. It's fun.
Well, there's nothing more important than what you're looking at. You know, I think no matter what the sport is, you have to have the focus of your eyes on exactly what you need them to see. And I don't care what the sport is, it's pretty much carries over, you know, playing golf to whatever. I mean, you better have your eyes in the right place. It's hard to hit what you're not looking at. And, you know, I think the thing that basketball is so unique in is the peripheral vision that those players have, you know,
Right.
the ability to not just see what's there, but what's going to be there and how fast it moves on that court. You know, I've always been impressed with the point guards that just see things that you have no idea how he saw that and or she saw that for that matter. And DJ Burns was a guy I liked watching because he could really see as a passer, you know, not just a scorer. Because to me, that's what the sports are all about. You know, it's involving your teammates. And in football, if you're looking at the wrong thing, you get beat regardless of how good a player you are. It's from the start. And so the eyes tell a lot. And I always try to stand where I can look at the eyes of my players because of that.
How about basketball this year? Like the men and
Yeah,
the
it's
women in
fun.
the Final Four. I mean, it was just absolutely magical. I
It
mean, it was
was.
just amazing. What's your fondest memory of all of it? Like it was so much at one time in Raleigh around NC State. What was your thought?
Well, I was so proud of both staffs, you know, and obviously what Kevin was able to do in that ACC tournament to catch fire. That one shot, the bank shot, that elevated their belief systems, you know, and you just saw a different team. And it was so fun to watch and be a part of. And obviously, all the fanfare was amazing. But I loved how much notoriety the university got out of it. You know, every time you'd look up at the screen, they were talking about NC State, whether it was our women's team or our men's team. And that was great. It was great recognition for a school that's done really well in a lot of sports over a long period of time. Been very, very competitive and have won a lot of championships in a lot of our Olympic sports. So I was really happy, you know, that they all got the recognition and the school itself, just the city was on fire. I mean, it was really fun to be a part of it.
I was out in Portland with the women and, you know, my phone blew up like everybody else's phone, right? And then all of a sudden the next day, nothing. It's like the whole city had passed out from partying. It was
Yeah.
such an elation of joy coming together. It was just amazing. Dave, you mentioned that, you know, football is sort of a microcosm of life. You called it a learning lab, a life lab. And I think about the team that you and I are on that's different from a sports team, but still the same. And that is, you know, that with your son and my son and the things that you have done for NC State and what NC State has coming, you and your wife, Sarah, have made over $1 million donation to create a program that students on campus could have some, what we would call executive coaching or organization or social management, behavior management, things that maybe we take for granted, that maybe those that are on a high functioning autism spectrum that can get into college and are really brilliant, but need some help in some other areas of their life. It's an amazing over $1 million gift that you and your wife gave to NC State. explain a little bit about that, and then we can talk about what's coming.
Well, yeah, it's just, our life's journey with Jacob's course of getting to college and how hard it was going through public school system and being on a track not to make him a 4-year college student and then changing course. How do we do this? Because he wants to go to college, and finding all the roadblocks and how much red tape and how many no's there are. And we were fortunate to find, Lewisburg College and the people there and their Learning Partners program. And then coming out of Lewisburg, there's only a couple options for them to be a 4-year student and get a 4-year degree. And we found App State's As You Are program, and those folks were and still are doing great work there. And they asked us to help, be a part of fundraising for that. And that was really what turned the corner for us. Like, if I'm going to be raising money for another school, we need to do it at our own instead. And Chancellor Woodson was really great in putting together a workforce to find a way to do this and study other people's programs and find out what we can do that makes sense at NC State. And that created the One Pack Empowered program, which is for the neurodivergent students on our campus that are admitted that need that space, where they can get the mentoring and the life skills or just a check-in point, so they have someone that can help them advocate at times, sending emails to professors. And so there's a lot of things that they do. Sydney Fletcher's who we hired, and he's doing a tremendous job in the program. He's working on getting his assistant in place now, so we'll have 2 full-time staff members, and then hopefully grow it even bigger with grad students that are in the School of Education to be a part of it, as mentors. But we're trying to get 25 to 50 students. I think we have 17 right now. This was the first semester of the program. And from what I've been told, it's been highly successful. Excited to get it kind of full bore here moving forward.
I mean, I know how necessary it is. It makes me so proud of NC State. My advocacy is very similar to yours on campus, with trying to connect all the dots with why NC State should have a program similar to what Clemson has. Clemson calls their program Life. And
Right.
thankfully, NC State is going to launch a program in January of 2025. And it's your advocacy with Sarah creating the program that you created that allowed others to have the vision to see why this next step of a program was necessary that would service families like mine, with my son Frankie, who is a young man living with Down syndrome. So it's different, but it's similar, and it's all on the same team.
Right.
And I kept pushing like you did, and what you and Sarah were able to do was open the doors to so many more thoughts and ideas and just a different mindset. So I'm so glad to be on your team, because I feel like I'm a part of your team, and your leadership on campus has made a difference for so many families.
Well, it's great to hear. And that's, like I said, when it started, it's really one of the coolest things that we've done as a couple. That you're helping families. Some of the emails that come in about they now have hope for their son or daughter because there's a program at NC State and they didn't know what they were going to do. And that's what it's all about, is creating hope for the students out there that want to get that 4-year degree at State. Now with the program that you're a part of starting here, will be another program available. And it's just access, right? I've said it many times, there's too many adults telling kids that they can't do things, particularly when they're things that are their goals, and we should be the opposite. We should be the group that's telling them they can do things, and how can we help them get there? And it's just, it's refreshing, to be here now and see 321 Coffee has exploded into this company that's employing, different individuals from the community, and they work here in the Murphy Center. We've got 3 individuals employed here now working in our dining services and equipment room, helping out, and they're a part of our family. They see him all the time. Sam Henning's like a son to me. I get to see him in the dining hall almost every day. And so, yeah, we've opened doors and created opportunity that should have been there before, but now exists. And we're just happy that it's going the right direction.
That's where the microcosm of being on a team comes together, right there, because there is opportunity for everyone. And what we've helped NC State see is that as the think and do is all over campus, this is an opportunity to really put it to work with some of the brightest minds in education on campus. And I'm excited about what's coming next for that program. And I can't thank you enough for everything
Yeah.
you did. I've said this publicly. You and I have had many conversations about our sons and about things that we wanted for other families like ours. And when the announcement came out that you and Sarah had made over a $1 million gift to the university, it wasn't, I think 15 minutes after the press conference that I got a text from you that you let me know this is not exactly what you wanted, but this is what we're doing. And this is, I'm not giving up on helping you create what you want to create for NC State. And so together, I feel, Dave, so connected to you because of that, because I have dropped your name and used your name as a face of the program so many times. I've taken advantage of your credibility and used it to help better NC State. And that's what we both want. And you said hope, and that's true, because what we've been able to help people see is that not just the hope for young adults, but for those new families when they get a diagnosis and they know that it's going to be okay. You know, that there is going to be an opportunity, and the whole IEP process and everything, the trickle down effect is going to be magnified on in everyone's life, because now people have to pay attention. These young adults and these young kids can go to college and have hope. And that's the most important thing, is providing a place for them to enjoy living their best life.
No doubt. Yeah, that's exciting. You know, and you can see it in their eyes when they're here, that they have value, you know, and that they get to clock in, clock out, and they're working, and people look forward to seeing them. They say their names when they see them, they ask them how they're doing. And so, yeah, it's been a really, really cool thing that's happened in our program because of all the access that we've given, and now that's taken a life of its own. And so there's a lot of people behind the scenes trying to make it bigger.
And here we sit on year 6 of our event, 24 hours, nothing but net, and we are set to cross $1 million for Special Olympics.
That's
And
great.
when we think about all the things and the people that have helped us get there, we couldn't be more grateful for you as an awesome teammate. And I just want to thank you personally and professionally for everything you've done, not just for me and my family, but for NC State and for all the families that are out there that are watching and listening that don't even realize the impact of what you've done and how it's going to have an effect on their lives moving forward. So I'm grateful for all of that, Dave.
Well, thanks for saying that. I don't do it for the attaboys, you know, we're doing it for everybody to have their opportunity, you know, and Special Olympics is one of those opportunities out there where they get to shine. And that's really what it is they have an opportunity. You know, we're all put on this planet to find purpose, and that's what this is. It's about giving them opportunity to showcase that.
As fiery as you are, and everything that you do around your football program and the special needs community is equally as passionate a cause for you and your wife and your family. So thank you. Thank you for being with us on 24 Hours Nothing But Net, and can't wait to see you this year of football season. Maybe you'll let me in the offensive coordinator room. I'd like to sit right next to him and dial up a play. How's that
Yeah,
sound?
Coach and I, it's fun to be around for sure. Well, we'd love to have you back anytime. Thanks for having me. Go Pack.